I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Wednesday, April the 26th, brought to you in part by Safeguard. Safeguard is the only wormer in both suspension and feed formulations. Deworm your cattle at the chute, in the pasture, or in their feed. For more information, go to safeguardworks.com. What's changed this week compared to last week or the week before or the week before that, really, in the whole complexion of fundamental cattle business here? Nothing. Nothing's changed at all. The main thing is we keep getting closer, and we're there now, with June live cattle futures contract being the spot month. April's still there through the rest of this week, but there's basically no trade in it at all. Everybody's hedged up to the June, and the June is going to be our spot month, and it is $14.50 behind what our fat cattle market is established. June live cattle ended the day on Tuesday's session at 164.02. The latest weighted average from last week in your 5-area feeding region for fed cattle was 178.57. It's absolutely ridiculous, guys. And why has nobody got into the June live cattle? Well, as an industry, we generally don't do that. We don't go long. We're long the cash market, so everybody is short the futures market. Why have there been no investors, no fund managers getting into that? Maybe your big packers and the corporations that they have and are partners with are staying off of them. Do you think they have that much power? Probably. But we still got extremely tight numbers of market-ready cattle, and all classes of cattle for that matter. It's going to stay extremely tight on our market-ready cattle. Yes, we are going to run into a few more numbers of finished fat cattle as we work into late May, but we're not there yet. Most of us thought we would continue to see a rally in your fat cattle market until we reach the middle part of May, and then it might ease back to steady or just a pinch lower. But this June live cattle futures has really got us thrown for a loop, and the basis that our hedged feeders, and everybody's hedged. I've been encouraging people to get more on your livestock policies to hedge their fat cattle. We know that's big for your stocker cattle and things like that, but I've been trying to entice more people to start hedging through those livestock policies through USDA. But for the most part, everybody is hedged up, and it's going to be tough for them to resist that basis. Because as they trade out, that basis is basically tacked on to whatever they get for their fed cattle this week and the next few weeks going forward, because we don't see that huge basis going away at any time. And if even a few of the negotiated fed cattle sellers start jumping at that basis, then everybody is screwed. Everybody's got to go with what they establish a market at, and it's going to be impossible to gain any ground here for the next 2 or 3 weeks in our fed cattle arena, even though we still have a right for more market position. But it's frustrating, but it's just the way that things are right now. We have seen some rain come across here early in the week. I've noticed some rain on the radar in northern Oklahoma and eastern Colorado, going across my old stomping grounds in northeastern New Mexico. We're really wanting it to work up into Kansas. Have seen some rainstorms move across, and of course it's mostly in the eastern part of Kansas where they have the Flint Hills. Most of them have grass in the Flint Hills. What they really need, especially in the lower part of the Flint Hills, is pond water, because those dirt tanks are really, really low, and that is the only source of water for a lot of those cattle that are running out there and stocking those Flint Hills here for their 90-day grazing period up there through the double stock areas. But I want to tell you about a sale that's going to be coming up here later this week that you won't want to miss. It's Elite Livestock Sales. My friend Jerry Etheridge and his whole gang from Montgomery Stockyards there are now having their sales on video with DV Auction. And they've got a lot of yearlings coming up, guys. This is actually their Mountain Lakes Grass Time Sale. It's going to be held from Guntersville, Alabama. They're moving it around to try to entice more business there, and sure don't blame them there. They can have them anywhere they want to with DV Auction, but it's going to be at 2 o'clock Central on Thursday. They've got 80 loads of green ryegrass yearlings, guys. Be as good a cattle as you can buy anywhere to put on feed, and you can put them on feed anywhere. Their cattle are going to be on feed all through the warm time of the year. So if they're a little slick-hided, if they don't have a lot of hair on them, no big deal. There's not that much cross in those cattle, guys. If you look at them, they've got most of the videos up. You can go to dvauction.com, search for that Elite Livestock Sales, and go through most of the videos. You'd be surprised at the quality of the cattle there, and it's really good. And don't miss that sale, 2 o'clock Central on Thursday, dvauction.com. A lot of you are a little out of sorts like I am this week so far because you got no Tucker Carlson. I don't know where to get my my world politic news and things like that. I really enjoyed Tucker Carlson, like I know a lot of you guys did too, and then can't wait to see where he goes next because I will be following him. But a lot of times Tucker Carlson would get me energized to give these feeder flash reports in the evening, but don't worry about missing out or losing your feeder flash reports with Corbett Wall because I'm too poor to stop doing them, and I really don't know how to do anything else that well. Let's talk about your board. On Tuesday, April live cattle futures were unchanged at 174.30. The June live cattle contract that's been frustrating me so much, down 52 cents at 164.02. Your back months on live cattle down 7 cents to down 50 cents. April feeder cattle were down 47 cents at 202.07. That is at a discount to what your real-time index is, but running fairly close to what your CME cash feeder cattle index is. That's always running about a day and a half behind. May feeder cattle contracts down $1.32 at 209.42. August still looks very handsome out there at 229.50, and if you can get a chance to contract your yearlings coming off grass late this summer, anywhere close to that, I wouldn't miss out on the opportunity to do that. But your back months on feeder cattle were down as much as 162 to up as much as just 17 cents there. Your grain futures, corn, Chicago Board of Trade futures down 4 3/4 cents for May. That ended at 646.5. December new crop corn down up just 3/4 cent, no big deal at all, at 548.25. May beans were down 20 cents. They've been down hard here of late at 1445.25. November new crop beans down 10 3/4 cent a bushel at 1266 at the end of regular trading. Fat cattle trade on a direct basis in your 5-area feeding region has not really taken off at all. We just saw a little bit in Iowa, which always kicks it off, guys. But gosh, I urge you guys to stay hooked. Packers desperately need your cattle. I know you feel like you're out there on an island demanding more for the cattle when you've got basis jumpers out there. But boy, we'd like to hold it as close to steady as we can. But Iowa sold 700 head on Tuesday, confirmed from 172.5 to 180. Some dress sales at 275. It's going to be lower, guys. I heard rumors of some bids out there in the northern plains for top cattle as high as 285, but they're not going to take them for 3 weeks or more. So it'll be an out front bid, which we hate to do that. But they know they're going to need the cattle. They know the market's coming back. They're just trying to get as many captive supplies as they can get. No confirmed sales in Nebraska. The Southern Plains didn't have any confirmed sales either. I did hear pretty strong rumors of bids of 174 out there, which would be steady with the bottom of the price range from last week, which I think that would be a pretty good victory if we could get 174 in the Southern Plains. But unconfirmed bids of 174 on Tuesday. Good fat cattle auction there, brick and mortar sale, Stockman's Livestock Market in Yankton, South Dakota. They had 1,800 in overnight, 2,300 in when the sale started there. Conventional fed cattle in Yankton. That's our biggest fed cattle auction there. It's got majors in there playing. They were much more aggressive than they've been the last few weeks, as they've kind of just been bottom feeders because they didn't want to challenge the top ends of the market. But they were more aggressive on Tuesday of this week. But conventional fed cattle sold from 176.5 to 189.50. That was only 50 cents to $1 cheaper than last week, guys. They still need the cattle. Drug-free and non-implanted cattle there have not been getting the premium as we've been on this rally here this spring as what they were getting earlier. But on Tuesday, your drug-free and non-implanted cattle bring from 175 to 189.50, which was $2.50 cheaper on the bottom end of that at the top end of the price range, and as much as $10 cheaper on the bottom end of the price range. Which we hate to see that, but you know what's changed? Nothing other than just the complexion of your market here a little bit. Let's talk about your box beef cutout values. They were mixed. Choice cuts up 51 cents at 307.63. Select was down $1.08 at 287.62, and now we see that choice select spread at $20. Which is not uncommon this time of the year where people really want the top grades of steaks to put on the grill. Slaughter's running at a pretty good clip, better than last week's aggressive harvest up through the first half of the week, but at 252,000 through the first 2 days of the week, that's 3,000 more than last week, 2,000 more than the same week a year ago. Talk about what else is going on. Rec Agra is Mark Rec, and Mark Rec is a ranch real estate broker there. He's got the RGM Corporation Ranch there for sale, 13,400 acres, mostly native grassland, 27 pastures in all. They all got good water to them. The water system there is amazing. Cattle don't have to walk very far to get to water. Got some CRP in there, which is a good thing for the buyer because it's have some income coming off that. But this is not an abused ranch. It's a stewardship award-winning ranch with a lot of grass on it, excellent facilities, a nice home, a big shop, grain and feed storage available on there. They've got a cabin barn. They've got shipping pens out away from the home base there. It's sitting in the southwest corner of the Nebraska Panhandle, near Sidney, Nebraska, not Sidney, Iowa. That would be County Corner to where it sits, but sitting there in good ranch country, guys. It's a turnkey operation. They're selling the equipment and the personal property. If you're interested in it at all, get a hold of Mark Rec at Rec Agra. Talk about your feeder cattle market, your real-time index on DV auction. Late in the day on Tuesday, sitting at 203.83, up 86 cents. These feeder cattle markets on a cash basis are resilient, guys. They're still after them, and they're still after the calves. But a really impressive market there on Tuesday. Of course, we had some really impressive regional sales up in the northern plains that helped it out a little bit. But if you guys haven't already put a hedge on for your cattle that you're turning out this summer, get a hold of Livestock Risk Services. That's Dakota Moss. Him and his agents there are LRP specialists. They do it all day, every day. Get a hold of one of them and just ask any questions that you might have. What it's going to cost you, you know, where you can set your strike price there, where you can lock your cattle in coming off grass late this summer or even in the fall. Talk about your big sales on Tuesday. Ozarks Regional Stockyard in West Plains, Missouri had 2,700 head through the ring. Another 1,000 head at their in-house video that they have almost every week with help from DV Auction. And the market was good. Your calves sold steady to $5 higher, which was the bulk of the offering. They did have a few yearlings. They sold steady to firm and light test. So good sale there in West Plains at Ozarks Regional Stockyard. Look at Denny Livestock Commission in St. Mary's, Kansas. These are load lots of steers weighing from 775 up to 1,000 pounds, selling very, very impressively. The loads weighing, like I said, from 7 6 bits to 1,000 pounds, bring from 183 to 206. All the $2 plus cattle, loads of steers in there, weighed over 800 pounds, including that load that weighed 876 there at 204.60, guys. Very impressive there at Ozarks Livestock Commission. Your Zowetta stick-out sale of the day was Kimball, South Dakota at Kimball Livestock Exchange. 4,400 head for them. Look at the best tested weights on this automated marker report through Cattle Market Central. You see 590 head of 7-weight steers, average 758. Weighted average price $216.93. 1,377 head of 8-weight steers in Kimball, South Dakota. They averaged 845 pounds. Weighted average price $206.57. Look at some heifers, 692 head of 7-weight heifers, average 760 pounds. Weighted average price $199.23. And 467 head of 8-weight heifers in Kimball, averaged just 817 pounds with a weighted average price of $194.69. Give you some individual quotes from all around. Beaver County Stockyards, all my friends at Beaver, Oklahoma there in no man's land, Oklahoma Panhandle. I asked them on Tuesday afternoon if they got any rain. They were getting a sprinkle there. It spooked them a little bit because they haven't had any sprinkles for such a long time there. They were hoping and praying for some more of the rain to come across, and it looked like it was heading that way late on Tuesday, but had a stick-out sale of Beaver 68 steers, weighed 690 pounds at $244.50. How about Gordon, Nebraska? Gordon Livestock Market, they sell them high up there. 78 steers, weighed 667 at $250 and a half. How about Kingsville Livestock Auction in Kingsville, Missouri? Your foremost auction there in west central Missouri. I got a lot of friends there. Used to be around that sale quite a bit. 54 steer calves, weighed 450 pounds, bring 308. Big time quote there. But the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere on Tuesday, your Mackerson No BS top quote for the day, come out of Huron Continental Marketing in Huron, South Dakota. It was 77 steers, weighed 768 at $223.25. And that's your feeder flash for Wednesday.